Welcome to the podcast, Leading and Growing Your Real Estate Business by Coach James Short. This podcast is designed to help you with strategies, insights, and ways to increase sales, build and lead high-performing teams, and ultimately grow your business. Your host, James Short himself, also shares some of his secret sauces on how he helps his own clients achieve business growth quickly and easily. James has been coaching those in the real estate and property industry for close to 10 years now, and his clients keep on saying, since working with James, their results have been outstanding, giving them more money, time, and fulfillment. James is offering a free strategy call to those listening to see how he can assist you to take your business to where you want to go. Simply go to jamesshort.com.au/strategy and book in a time today. Now on with the show.
So, Steve Brossman, the man of the moment. Steve has a unique combination of marketing, TV, and video experience, which leads perfectly into providing these services for you. He has hosted and produced the show on Channel 9 and has been executive producer for Warner Brothers, which gives him experience on both sides of the camera, as well as being able to get the best out of people in front of the camera. So true. I've done many sessions with the man himself, and yes, as you can see, it's worked very well. As for marketing videos, in 2009 he ran Australia's first video marketing training, and 2012 was named internationally Video Marketing Influencer of the Year, and January 2020 was published and named alongside the top 40 innovative marketers globally. Oh my gosh, we are so excited to have him on the line today. Really welcome, guys. Brozzo, it's an honor, it's a privilege, mate. Thank you for being here today.
Mate, it's great. Thank you for organising this in a very short period of time. Well done. It just shows the power and the influence you have with your, let's call it the tribe, and how needed this is right now. It's just something that was sitting in basically the back pocket for the last couple of years, and then all of a sudden the need came out. It was like, well, hey, let's pull it out again and let people have a look at it.
Let's get things underway. Obviously, we're talking about video and the sales process of video, and in particular, like how do we do in these times things like a virtual open homes? Let's just go a little bit of a history. I mean, we've been talked the other day, like you ran a program for this 4 years ago and it just went blah because people weren't ready, right? But now we'll fast forward to where we're at right now, like things are hitting the fan, so to speak. But it's the opportunity to look at how do we do business and how do we manage business differently. Let's have a little bit of a background of that video process and where have you seen it come from to where it is today?
Look, 3 to 4 years ago when we first brought this out, it was when Facebook was just putting Livestream out there, and it was pretty glitchy and clunky. And we thought, oh, look, there's a couple of industries that really should capitalize on this. And one of them was the real estate industry. Instead of just having to get everybody queued up and going through the house, we thought they should be able to do a live stream. And it probably wasn't the right time, the right idea, but not the right time, and also not the right technology. And even though we can do it, and if you want to do it, you can do it with a Facebook Live, it's not the way that I would recommend it. The need has just been landed and thrown straight on top of real estate agents right now. They need to look for a solution because they can't have groups of people going through a house. The technology is also a much more advanced, and there are some expensive platforms. And the way that I want to show people, it's not just the technology, it's what you do with it, what you do before you get the people there, and how to use existing technology to get us through this period of time. Because down the track, people may not want to do the virtuals. They might want to go back to the touchy-feely and have a look at the house. So this may be a short term. So investing heavily in expensive technology may not be the right way to go. But as I say, it's not the platform. It's what you do leading up to it and what you do during the actual live open themselves.
So let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about that up beforehand. What's the kind of things that people can do? You know, if you've got an appointment, if you've got a presentation, what are some of the things that the listeners can do before they do that presentation or appointment?
Sure. Yeah. Look, I always say that how do you run a very fast 100 meters? Train really hard for a long time, prepare well, and then execute well. It's not all about turning up, getting on the blocks and just running fast. It's everything that you do before that to be able to get on and do that. So it's everything that you do before the open home is crucial now, because you don't get that touchy-feely that you can get if you can have somebody walking through. It is all about relationships. It's the relationship with you and the person that you're looking to get the listing from. It's the relationship that you have with them listing the property. It's the relationship that you have with the buyers. And we were talking earlier off camera, and I liken this not to selling a house, but providing a dating service.
Yeah.
It's the relationship that the buyer is going to have with the house that you want them to fall in love with it. It's not selling a technical, physical building at all. Because all of you guys on there would know that when reserves are smashed, when prices just go through the roof at an auction, it's not logical. You just have two emotive buyers that have fallen in love with a property, and their budget goes out the roof, and they buy an emotion.
Yeah.
So what we're lacking potentially, if all we're going to do is show a video, potentially just have a chat to somebody, we're lacking that dating, the buyer dating with the house, the falling in love with the house. So it's the stuff that you do right back at the beginning. And if we can go back to, and I've worked with a number of agents over the last 3 years on what's called direct communication videos, how to do videos directly with the people. There's three real different types of videos. There's outbound promotion videos that you and I both do on Livestream and promotion. Then there's education videos. Then there's the direct communication videos. That's the me to you. And one of the things, and this may or may not be appropriate now, that getting the listing is quite often one of the hardest things to do, because that's gold. When you get the listing, there's a fair chance you're actually going to sell the property. So let's go back to the real competitive side of it. And how can you actually stand out? And we talk about the brown box syndrome, where if you look and feel and taste the same as every other real estate agent, then they're not going to buy from you. Like mortgage brokers, what do they normally say? Well, I can get you the best home loan. I can get you the best home loan. No, I can get you the best home loan.
That's right.
What do real estate agents say? Well, I can get you the best price, and I can get you the best price. And how are you going to judge them? It's how you create that relationship. Because if you're dating somebody that you've got a great relationship with, you're not really going to go and say, hey, honey, we've got a great relationship. We're having a really good time. But you know what? I think I'm going to go and date the person down the road who I really don't know, and I don't know whether they're going to treat me right. It's how can you get a really quick, fast, deep relationship? And one of the best ways is to understand the potential lister and then create a quick relationship. And I used to coach, and I still coach people to say, listen, the first thing you do is you walk out the front door, shoot a quick video. You've understood exactly what the three selling motives, the real things that they love about their house. Shoot the quick video. Hey, Mary and Jim, I love your house, Mary. Yes, your kitchen is to die for. I can see women just falling in love. Jim, the backyard and the barbecue, I can see lots of guys wanting to stand around when they're allowed to have parties again, standing around the barbecue, and the kids will love that backyard. They're the three things that they said were important to them. Now, what that does is they understand that you understand them. You've got that connection. And besides, within minutes, you've walked out the door, you've videoed it, you push the button, they have a video of you communicating with them. The other thing is, where are they going, and why is that important to them? You finish it off by saying, listen, I'm really looking forward to working with you, really getting you a fantastic sale at the best price so you can go up to live on the Central Coast and have your life by the sea. Again, that's the understanding, the engagement, the relationship. There's so much power that can go in a 2-minute script that would then say, this person gets me, they understand the house, there has to be something pretty important for us not to go with them.
That's so true. That's so true, because I mean, they say a picture paints 1,000 words, but I think a video paints 1,000,000. And looking at that of, I just want to put it out there to the guys watching today. If you were to do a relationship video, if you think about the past of the appointments and the presentations, and even now, if you were to get off the phone and shoot a quick video to someone that you've spoken about, what would that mean to your relationship? I just want to type in the chat, what would that mean to your relationship? If you did a quick little video of thanks for the call, or thanks for the, a Zoom meetup, or whatever it was, what would that mean to that relationship for you? Let's type your answer into the chat. I want to find out what would be some of the responses do you think you would get if you did a little relationship video with people that you're currently maybe working with or developing through your sales process. I want to find out. Let's throw that into the chat.
While they're typing that in, I'll let them know how I live and die by what I'm preaching, because this is what I do day in, day out. And I'll have people connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll have people that are referred to me, or I'll just chat with somebody. When we're allowed to meet people before, it'd be, hey, I met you somewhere. And they would always get a quick video back about a meeting. I've got clients, one in particular who's a Yellow Brick Road franchisee. And whenever the company sends him a lead, it's an automated video. And it's basically, hey, we've got your lead. We're excited. I can't wait to chat with you. Really looking forward to it. One of my fantastic team is going to connect with you, organize a great time to come through. His appointment rate is 84% per lead. The company is aiming for 25.
Wow, that's huge, right? And classic example, Bobby's here. He did that for these most recent clients, and the response was brilliant. He put them at ease with the current climate, and they were extremely appreciative. Proof's in the pudding. Yep. Extremely well received. Do it already over text. So over video is even more personal. Love it. Fantastic. Yeah, so true. So true.
Yeah. And that is the biggest thing. Text is brilliant. And you were talking about how much the value of a video is worth. Forrester Research says 1 minute of video equals 1.8 million words.
Oh, there we go. I was almost on the money. Love it. Love it.
So that hopefully that would help you get more listings and create a relationship with the person that you're listing their property with. They know that you're different. It's all about creating that experience. Now, the great thing is that if you're getting a great experience with that person with the listing, they're selling their property. Ideally, they may buy a property in the area, or they're going to refer somebody else on who is going to, because when you create an experience, people rave about an experience. And that's the whole thing. Create the relationship, create the experience for them as the seller. Now, the next step is the people that are going to start connecting with you. And there's an automated and a semi-automated process that I go through every single day. When somebody connects with me, they'll get a quick note. There's a video that I've shot that is perceived to be personal. Hey, it's great to connect with you here, Steve here. I thought it'd be a great opportunity to tell you blah, 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 blah. And it's a relationship building. You shoot it once. If you shoot it and you script it right, then they feel as if you are talking to them. So the minute you get somebody clicking on a house and whatever, you may do one for every house. Hey, thanks for dropping by and inquiring about number 1 Smith Street. It's a fantastic property. What we're going to be doing is going to be sending you this, and how we can connect them, whatever your process is for there. That minute, you're starting to have the relationship with them. And that's the first thing. You can't go and shake hands with them. They're not going to meet you officially at the property. But if you can sequence a number of videos along the way, then you're going to get some great results with those people.
So true. So true. So obviously we're having that being different and having that understanding and building that relationship and building that connection. What else should we start to be looking for, and what should be some of the signs?
There are some great things that agents are already doing. I'm not going to come in and say, look, throw the baby out with the bathwater. There are some great, I'll call them name, rank, and serial number videos that are basically showing the features of the property, which is fantastic. you need to layer again on top of that. And that's why people go to open homes, to get the feel of the property. They can have a look at the photos. They know what it looks like. They know what's there, how many bedrooms, all of those sorts of things. They can have a look at the video and they can actually see where everything is, but they can't get to feel. So the best thing is to actually work out from the owner, what is it they're going to miss? Because if that's what they're going to miss about the property, then they're the highlights of what you can actually sell. And what are the things that are important to them and why? And you need to look at that and say, well, who are going to be the best people and what are the emotive features, benefits of this actual property? And it's that you can actually put in the live video, because it's hard to get them across in a static video. But the live video is then going to be something that you can get those across and talk to the people about. So if you've got those, then in your communication, and I would certainly recommend where possible, you have a live video hookup with the potential buyers. And that's as close as you're going to get. It's going to be easy because here's a link, click on this. They don't have to drive to the office and you can have a live video hookup. And it's then that you start uncovering what are their emotive needs. Again, it's the dating app. If you get the emotive needs of the buyer and the emotive features of the property and talk emotive to emotive, then they're going to go to the open house if all the features have ticked the box. So they've looked online.
3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, car spot, blah, 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 blah.
It's got all the technical features. We've ticked that box. It's only when they've ticked that box that they're going to inquire. So then you can't stay at that level. You've got to go to the next level, which is the emotive level. And if those who stay at that level and just do an open house presentation or a video walkthrough and a talk through, and just talk features, the sale price is going to be lower.
And this is really important because this is where I've been hammering for the last couple of weeks, the importance of communication. If you've been speaking to someone once a week, it needs to be at least 3-4 times a week. And by understanding both the vendor, the seller, and the purchaser, looking at what their needs are. It could be the cupboard size, it could be the outlook, it could be the air conditioning unit in the left-hand corner of the ceiling. Whatever it is, we've got to ask those questions because that's what's important to them. And the more we can start to connect with that, as you've said, it brings that emotive component really to the forefront, and we can deliver on that. I just wanted to put it out there. What's been, to the listeners so far, what's been sort of the biggest aha for you at the moment? What's been a takeaway? What's been an idea or a concept where you go, that's interesting, I might need to explore? What's been a number one thing so far? Let's type that into the chat. What's been something that's an aha moment for you so far? So Steve, as we go through that, getting to the emotive, totally. As we go through then that stage, like we're talking about live videos at the moment because we're just talking about the current situation. We're talking about live videos, walking through properties and so forth. Tell us more around how that might look like and how you might set that up, for example.
First and foremost, you've got to know what the personality of the house is, the personality and the needs of the purchasers that are going to be there, and then how to communicate with them. In my video training, we look at what is going to be your on-screen personality, your video persona, who you have to be. And you have to be able to be comfortable enough to just chat with the people. The presentation's gone. The big video of, here we have 3 bathrooms on the left and 4 cupboards on the right. All that is virtually gone. It's how do I take you through, talk to you about what you want to know and be able to converse with you. And you need to be able to be comfortable to do that and to be able to engage with the people and to be able to talk excited when you get to the parts that need to be talked excited and slow it down and to be able to communicate with those people. So the first thing is your presentation is not the weather guy presentation.
Tim Bailey, move over. We have.
You put your hair up like that. There's a 50-year-old guy wearing his hair like that still. But anyhow, good on you, Tim. He's still around. So, but that's it. You've been able to, how do I look through the camera? How do I manage the people? It's a trick to be able to manage the people in a way that you're communicating individually with them as a group.
Yeah.
And that in itself. There are a number of different platforms. I think Zoom is still an easy one to use. I'd probably not do the meeting. I would set it up as a webinar so that the people are virtually to the side and anonymous.
Yep.
And not, so you can actually still have the interaction, but they actually don't see each other. The people, you know, the reason people like coming to an open house, they do their own little walk around, they whisper to each other and, you know, those sorts of things. You need to be able to facilitate that and still be able to communicate with each of them. And you need to know who each of them are and how each of them want to be communicated to and what's important to them, as you would. Whereas in an open home, you're really only talking to one group at a time. So it's like juggling a 3-ring circus, but it really will take a little bit of work, but not that. I've run hundreds of group Zooms and webinars and things like that, and it's being able to manage and engage each of you and still exude your personality. And I typed in the thing and you put it out there. It is your personality and passion, not the platform or perfection, that'll produce the profits. And they come to you because of you. You can engage with them, and that's what they're going to do. Because in all parts of sales, the salespeople on here know this. All parts of sales, all you're doing is selling the next step. This is let's just say it's the group speed dating time where you want them to have that piece of it. You're engaging with them. You're pointing out the emotive things that you know are important to them so they can get that warm and fuzzy. But they're not going to sign the contract on the Zoom or whichever video platform. They're not going to sign that contract there and then. All you are selling is the next conversation, which is, let's have a conversation. Let's find out what it's all about and how can we take you to the next level, which is negotiation and sale. Yeah. Where I'm pretty sure a lot of people will really try and sell the house, not have a really good date.
Yeah, that's right. And going on that I think that's so important, because going on that piece is, so often we want to get to the end result, right? We want to get to quick. We just got to get through things and hurry. Where we've got to look at the whole sales process, particularly in this climate. Look at the whole sales process, and sometimes, particularly now, it might be stretched out a little bit because it's not everything changes on a daily aspect, even an hour by hour. So if someone's emotional, and we're talking about emotional purchasing a lot of the time, they can be one emotion in the morning and then a completely different emotion in the afternoon. And as you said, if we're thinking about trying to sell on that virtual open home, then it's just not going to work there and then. We've got to take them through, as you said, this step-by-step process. Coming back to, I think that comment that you made around that passion, and I have a strong believer, I know you're a strong believer on this, is the person with the highest energy wins. And this is, I think you've mentioned this before around your passion, your energy, particularly when it comes to video. People can feel your energy in person, but we've got to, I believe, this is my personal opinion, you've got to step it up a little bit when we're on video, because we miss that energy associated to when we're in face-to-face, so to speak. Do you want to touch a bit on that?
I'm really so glad you asked that question, because the little black hole called the camera lens, that black hole has been responsible for more shipwrecks than the Bermuda Triangle. And it's true. What we do on one side does not get through the camera. It just squashes your personality. And You guys are here. I teach it in my video training to be able to get your personality through. What you've got to do is you've actually got to shoot some short videos. Well, write down 3 times 5 times 5. I'll give you the full training right now. And this only takes about 40 odd minutes. Shoot a 2 to 3 minute video. Now, most of the time, we're very conscious about doing the video because we don't hate doing videos. We actually hate watching ourselves back. That's the biggest obstacle. And it's physiological. I've got a few heads not there. And it's physiological, not psychological. Because as we look at ourselves all day long, we see the left-hand side on the left-hand side. Our brain thinks we are a mirror image. When we watch ourselves back, it's reversed. And our brain does not like it. It says, I hate that. That's not me. That's over there. That's supposed to be over there. So that's the first thing that we have to do. We actually have to trick the brain to say, oh, I'm quite comfortable now. I can start. So you shoot a 2 to 3 minute video and watch that one video back 5 times. Then you'll look at it and say, you know what? Yeah, that was a bit dead. That was a bit flat. Maybe I could lift it a little bit and try something else. Then you shoot it again and watch that back 5 times. By the time you've repeated that whole process 5 times, your energy, your whole presentation, what you're doing on one side of the camera is actually getting through. Your brain is okay. It's saying, yes, that is me. The other thing that we hate is our sound. And sound is a compression wave. And it travels differently through solid and liquid, just as from our voice box to our ear internally, than it does externally through air. So what we hear on our replays and what we hear back, that's the true sound. What we actually hear is distorted. So we have to get used to that. The minute you can knock over that 3x5x5, and I coach people through this and watch it and get their energy up, and I can get somebody from being a fairly poor presenter to get their energy up in just over an hour. And it is all about connecting with themselves, connecting with the camera, and it makes a massive difference. So the first thing before you start doing these, because if you've got somebody in front, you can read them and you adjust to that. Here you don't, you've got a black hole. So you've got to lift up and get your energy through the camera and be able to communicate. And that's why it's important that you do your homework, and you might have one group that is after something else and another group that's wanting something else. You've got to be able to communicate at a variety of levels for those people. So it's a awesome question. Thanks, Jimmy.
Love it, love it. And Dan made a great point. He's find it easier to have someone filming rather than doing a selfie, because it can simply just be talking to the person on the end of the camera and having a conversation, even though you probably won't get much love back, but at least you're talking and having a conversation with someone at the end of the camera. Yeah, great point, Dan. Fantastic.
Oh, that's a technical side that I was about to get into, and let's just do it now, is particularly because we are going from room to room and you want to manage the chat. I believe this is a duo. Yep. You can't just walk around with the selfie, read what's going on, worry about what we're looking at. So you can either have you on the selfie and somebody managing all the technical side and feeding you the questions and doing that. So you could actually manage, okay, flip the camera around, push it back here, do all those sorts of things. My suggestion would be to grab the Steadicam, which is the gimbals. They're only $100 and something bucks. It really makes it look really professional. You're not bouncing around. So you decide whether it's going to be more comfortable for you to have somebody with the camera and you walk around with the iPad and say, oh, I've got a fantastic question, James. Yes, you want to have a quick look at the play area because you've got 3 kids and want to know whether the play area is going to be good for those 3 kids. So when we get to that, here it is. Mary, here's the play area here. You can see they've got it set up. Your 3 kids would just love it. The good thing is you're nearby, you'll be able to hear them. So again, you can position them in that situation. So how do you think like Mary thinks? Well, I've got kids in there. I need to be in the kitchen. I need to be here. That's how Mary thinks. So you manage the chat and the questions and drive that, and somebody manages the filming of you, or you manage the filming and somebody else does that. It's still just a 2-person, and you can knock it over fairly simply in that 30 minutes.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, Steve, as we come towards a close, is there any sort of final points or suggestions or thoughts that we need to be looking out for?
It's actually the complete strategy. And one thing I was going to come back to one of your comments is the way that I look at the process is it's a cultivation process. You've actually got some good people in there, you're adding some fertilizer, you're putting some water on, and they're basically cultivating themselves as you are taking them through the journey. So when they actually get to the open and they're going to have the discussion with you after that, it makes a massive difference. Instead of a qualification to say, yep, you're the right person for me to sell to, a cultivation, they're coming to you by the time you get to the end, ready to buy. I've got this through my 36-minute LinkedIn sales funnel. I've got the whole process set up so that they're getting a video here, they're getting a touch of this here, they're getting a live personal video here, and then we have the conversation here. What your goal is to get them emotively connected to you. Start right back at the beginning, get them emotively connected to you as the vendor, and take them through that phenomenal journey where you're keeping them up to date with all your video updates. Then you take the purchasers through that emotive journey. And I've always said that the purpose of marketing and of video is to take the prospect or the viewer through an emotive journey where in the end, in their mind, they make a logical decision that they just have to have it. But you've got to have that connection, engagement to be able to do that. So it's a matter of where do I put these little bits and pieces? How do I create the strategy that is easy to implement, easy to replicate, it's not going to the bank, and we can get it all done. And that's probably the biggest thing that I would stress. It's not the bits and the pieces. It's the complete linking of the strategy that really does make a difference.
And I'll second that too, Steve, because the strategy that you were using 2 weeks ago won't work right now.
Yeah, I know.
This is how quick things have pivoted and things have changed. And we need to really rethink strategy of how to do your sales process. So what strategies you were using 2-3 weeks ago then, you know, if you're thinking about there's no inquiries or no leads coming through, yeah, because you're using the same sales strategy. So what needs to change in your sales process, in your sales strategy in relations to this? And how can you start to pivot and really look at, as Steve said, those step-by-step processes? So yeah, so true. Love it.
Got a quick comment. I just jumped on the chat here and Jules is talking about a tripod. One of the things that you may want to look at is actually a monopod. It's just the single stick, and to be able to do that. So one of the things that I do with all of this is work, consult and help people build the strategy, but also on the technical side, it's like what would be the best to use here. And if I can give you this tip, a monopod would be much easier to use and move around in this sort of a situation.
Totally. Now, where can the guys, the listeners, and for those who are watching the recording, where can we go to have a chat or find out more info from you?
Look, make it nice and easy. It's very simple. Steve@stevebrossman.com. I do it so I can remember it.
That makes sense, doesn't it? So Steve@stevebrossman.com.
Yeah, they can just drop me an email. I'll just personally answer all of them. And if they've got any questions, more than happy to help them.
Lovely, lovely. Guys, go and reach out, have a chat to Steve. He's always willing to help. But we really need to start to think about how the strategy needs to change, particularly in these times. How do we need to pivot? Well, I call how do we need to zag while everyone is zigging, and really look at capitalize on re-unpack your sales process and how can you make that difference in the engagement and take them through that journey. So Steve, really appreciate your time. Thank you everyone for jumping on today. And I look forward to speaking to you all soon. Thanks guys.
Cheers guys.